We got a hold of some insane new details coming in, not only about the YNW Melly trial that's been going on for a few weeks, but also about the two lawsuits that have been finally revealed to the public. You already know that YNW Melly is undergoing a trial where he faces the possibility of receiving the death penalty. However, he's also being legally pursued by the victims' families who want to see some cash as compensation for their loss. Let's get into some of the specifics of this lawsuit and what happened in court in the past few days in order to gain a more comprehensive understanding of the case. The thing before the 1-week break that stuck most with the folks who are tuned into the YNW Melly trial is the investigator who basically showed that the fatal shots that ended Juvie's and Sack's life must have come from inside, and that's why Melly is in some deep trouble. As you recall, the state is saying that Melly and Bortland set up a drive-by shooting to cover up the murders of their buddies YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser. And now, during the trial, a crime scene detective dropped a bombshell. He recreated the scene for the jury and determined that the fatal shots came from inside the car, not outside. According to the detective, Juvie got shot in the head from close range on the left side of his face while he was looking forward. There were all these other details about the entrance wounds and the angles of the bullets. It sounds pretty convincing, honestly. The jury's already seen surveillance footage that showed Melly in the back left seat of the Jeep, with Juvie in the front and Sack Chaser in the back right seat. And the medical examiners confirmed that both victims were shot in the head from the left side. It's all starting to add up. But hey, Melly's not going down without a fight. He's got a couple of small victories in this one too. The prosecution messed up big time and didn't disclose a second forensics report, which is a big no-no. So that evidence got excluded from the trial. It's like a little win for Melly, you know? But let's not forget, if he is found guilty, he's looking at life in prison without parole or even the death penalty. But this is a legal battle, and things are far from over. The YNW Melly double trial resumed on Monday after a week-long break. A friend of Melly's provided some insight into what happened at the studio on the night of the murders. It was a guy called Trevon Glass, who used to make beats for one of the victims, Anthony Williams, also known as YNW Sack Chaser, or Sack for short. Apart from telling all the people who were present that he didn't smoke before the hearing and wishes that he did.
Did you smoke before you came here today?
I did not.
I have nothing. Thank you.
I should have.
He also gave out some interesting information that could be big in this case. Apparently they booked the studio for a 12-hour recording sesh, but they couldn't stay the whole time because they were all getting sleepy. And if you remember, they did leave the studio super late. Now you know the dealio with Melly already. This trial's taking place because Melly was accused of shooting his childhood friends Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr. in some kind of drive-by cover-up. It all went down after they spent the night at a recording studio in Fort Lauderdale back in October of 2018. Williams and Thomas were part of Melly's crew, known as YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie. So this producer dude spilled the beans about the whole night. He saw people getting into a Jeep Compass and a red Mitsubishi on the surveillance tapes from the studio. And guess who was there? Melly and another rapper who goes by the name of Fredo Bang. The prosecutor's been trying to get Fredo on the witness stand too, but Fredo told everyone a long time ago that he won't show up to talk. After leaving the studio, Glass and his crew went to Melly's place and then ended up at Fredo's crib to mourn their fallen friends. Glass noticed that Melly had changed his clothes since the recording session earlier that night, but when they asked Glass about what happened at Fredo's place, he clammed up, saying he was too busy grieving. I mean, it's understandable, right? But what does this testimony show? Melly changed his clothes? So what? Well, it's hella suspicious, honestly. Why the hell would both defendants change their clothes and waste 40 minutes just cruising around instead of going straight to the hospital to check on their injured friends if they had nothing to do with the crime? In all honesty, that's not the behavior of innocent people. It's like they're trying to cover up their tracks and hide something. Something fishy is definitely going on here. Therefore, some even consider this testimony to be snitching. Comments online don't judge the producer at all. He's in a tough spot. I don't blame the kid for speaking. He looks young. And if you're not a murderer, you should never take a charge for a murder. Whether it's snitching or not, the jury and the families need to know the truth. This guy is honestly stuck in the middle, and I feel bad for him. So during the trial, they called Mark Moretti, a Miramar detective in this case, to the stand. He talked about how he first got the case and went to the hospital to speak with the moms of YNW Juvie and YNW Melly on the morning of the murders. But here's where it gets interesting. Bortland, one of the guys involved, told Moretti the location of the shooting, and it caught him off guard. There were some text messages brought up too. One of them said, "If them crackers come grab him, it's my fault. You forgot?" And another said, He did one of the realest in my life. It sounds like they're talking about taking responsibility for something, but it's pretty unclear exactly what went down. The prosecution also tried to prove their theory that Fredo Bang picked up Melly from the crime scene. Moretti read a message from Fredo to Melly on the morning of the murders that said, "Miramar FL 33029. I'm on my way. Right now, blood." Seems like they're implying that Fredo was involved in some way. The trial wrapped up for the day with Moretti being cross-examined, and they're going to continue with it on the upcoming days. It's definitely getting more and more intense, man. But the producer and the detective coming into court and giving a testimony is not the only interesting thing that we saw unfold in the last couple of days. There have been a lot of rumors of lawsuits coming in from the victims' families, too. Now we can actually say a couple of things about those since we got our hands on some of the documents that were released to the public eye. So, Leandra Phillips, who's Christopher Thomas's mom, is suing Melly and a bunch of other people for millions of dollars. She's claiming that they caused the wrongful deaths of her son and YNW Juvie, and they're benefiting financially from it. She's going after him with all she's got. Apparently, the lawsuit alleges that Melly and his crew, including 100K Track and Cortland Henry, who you know as Bortland, planned to kill these guys to boost their fame and make money off it. They're saying that Melly's mom and manager, Jamie King, was also involved in covering it up. The lawsuit even mentions that they're profiting by using the hashtag #FreeMelly. But I don't know, man. It seems like a stretch to me. It's more about supporting Melly than directly profiting, right? The lawsuit also claims that they lied to the police and hindered the investigation. Trayvon Glass, Jacoby Mills, and others are named as defendants for allegedly providing false information to law enforcement. It's a whole mess, y'all. Melly's defense is denying everything, saying there's no proof that they don't owe any duty to the plaintiffs. They're basically just trying to wash their hands clean of this whole situation. And get this, they even argued that Christopher Thomas was negligent and partly responsible for his own death. Whew, that's a bold move, man. The case is going to trial, and it looks like the plaintiffs are demanding a jury to decide on the damages. If Melly's found guilty in the criminal trial, it might have an impact on the amount of money he'll have to pay. But who knows, man? It's a wild situation, and we'll just have to see how it all plays out. So this Melly trial and the whole situation that he's found himself in is reaching staggering distances. Get a load of this. There's actually a betting website letting fans place bets on whether he'll be found guilty or innocent. Can you believe that, man? They're like, comment your opinion for a chance to win $100. They even have a link where you can bet on the trial and get a sign-up bonus. Pretty unconventional, man. Fans had all kinds of reactions to this. Some are like, everybody knows he's guilty. They just want him free, with a laughing emoji. Others are straight up confused, saying, no way they got odds on his freedom. And someone else was like, why is this even a debate? He literally made a song admitting it, referring to his track Murder on My Mind. The trial itself has been a roller coaster, to say the least. Melly blew a kiss to people in the gallery during one of the trial days, and his friend's mom called it disrespectful. The whole situation even caused Melly's mom to have a heart attack and quit social media. She's had enough of all the drama and stress. This trial is far from over, man, and things are getting pretty out of control. We'll have to just see how it all plays out in the end. But who would have thought that people would be placing bets on a rapper's verdict? Whew. What do y'all think about the recent developments? And do you think Melly's chances are tight? Let us know what you think down in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching to the very end. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Keep more hot hip-hop news coming to your feed. And before you go, you gotta remember to keep it RIZZLE.